Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattox, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
We talk a lot about the positive and negative aspects of life as you live and grow and learn new things. When you look at these kind of polarities, it's one thing to kind of simply suggest that there are ups and downs, right? You have ups and downs in your life. This is a normal occurrence. It's kind of a level 2 understanding to know that there is perhaps not just ups and downs, not just positives and negatives, but the fact that there is a potential causal relationship in these things. So the negative sort of times in your life create the foundation for positive times to emerge. And as you begin pursuing that even further and looking in the natural world, you'll find that these cycles are pretty common. That we are perpetually in this kind of evaluative mode where we're looking at our conscious experience and evaluating it positively or negatively, and as a result, course correcting the negative, right, and trying to enhance the positive. One of the perils with this sort of conceptually is that underneath that understanding is the inherent attempt to try and create a one-sided coin where all of the things are going to be good all of the time. And you can't do that, obviously. There's no such thing as a one-sided coin. There's actually not even anything as such a thing as a two-sided coin. Coins minimally have three sides, right? So when you kind of pursue that understanding a little bit further, you begin to realize that the mechanics of growth and development require all three sides of that coin, or all sorts of the interpretive analyses of the experiences of daily life. You need that positive, those positive moments, and if you're developing along a trajectory, what will happen as you grow and improve, today's positive moments will become essentially the negative moments of your future. You will raise the overall baseline as you improve to get to better outcomes, over repeated sort of cycles of this developmental path. And as you do this, your day-to-day experience should increase in both sort of quality and depth, and the frequency of those negative experiences as you get more adept at handling the painful elements of everyday life. You will be better enabled to have more of a positive experience. Additionally, when you start looking at what it means to have sort of the good life or a happy life, independent of kind of a moral definition of that, which I'll leave to you and your faith, when you look at the way it feels to live a good life, the emotional content of that, it's important to understand a little bit about how the dynamics of that works. So as you are sort of going through your everyday life, trying to kind of mitigate the suffering that you're experiencing, uh, the emotions that arise or emerge from your day-to-day life are essentially a constellation of feelings. And those feelings, as they arise, will tend to cluster in certain sort of, let's say, domains or genres. One of those is we'll call happy. So this is the cluster of happy emotions. It's joy, it's wonder, it's delight, it's blah, blah, blah. You're going to have a cluster of potentially negative emotions when you're not having a happy time in your life. They may be fear, anxiety, doubt, uncertainty, anger, any of those kinds of expressions that arise in the moment and are a direct result of the way you're processing the suffering you're experiencing. So or the pain you're experiencing more accurately, because suffering is a little bit different. But when you start working through these things and start trying to design a life that matters, it's going to be important for you to understand, at least structurally, kind of how these relationships are formed. And instead of perhaps running from the suffering, or even embracing the suffering as an opportunity for growth, understanding there's a cyclical nature to these things, you might find yourself designing your next adversity with intent so that you can create even better and stronger outcomes. And what does that look like? That looks like choosing to go through the adversity of perhaps a physical fitness regime or regimen, or the process of learning a new mechanical skill, or the process of learning a new intellectual skill, or a language, or things like that. So as you go through these, kind of like selectively choosing those adversities you're going to experience, you can selectively at the same time narrow the possible range of positive experiences to kind of put limits and parameters around what that experience might be like. And as you're working on constructing the quality life, understand that you have choices, not just on the kind of pain that you expose yourself to, but also the range of the positive experiences that you're trying to create.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at amasonswork.com, and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.